Welcome to the Business Buyer Diaries. My name is Nathan Platter. I'm a full-time employee, and I bought a business. I did everything right, from finding the deal, handling all the due diligence on 63 opportunities, and ultimately bought a profitable gym. And boy, was I in for a big surprise as a new owner. I chronicled everything in real time, including the biggest wins to the stressful nights at 2 a.m. I'm sharing my journey without sugarcoating anything, so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Here's today's episode. All right, well, we're back to a fresh week. Last recording was like a week ago, so a little delayed on those. I just had the annual performance review for my day job, and it didn't really go the way I hoped. Long story short, I thought I was going to be getting a certain rating. I got the rating below that, and so it was really tough. In hindsight, it's hard because you're doing the best you can in your day job, and for this podcast, in my situation, owning a business, getting another endeavor off the ground, it's just wild. Like, it's not a lack of good things to do. It's a lack of prioritization and priorities. And it's not even a lack of priorities. It's a lack of knowing what to execute on so that other things can happen from there. It was helpful to hear. I was about to meet like the rating I was hoping for, but they adjusted it, or like my director dropped it down because of a benchmark system that we have. And so I was going to get like a fair enough rating, and then to see it come down was a bummer. But in the context, that's in light of letting go of a key employee, hiring a new employee, training a new employee, launching a new startup, switching out vendors, cutting pay, traveling for several days, losing a mentor. I found out yesterday, the mentor I visited last week, he died over the weekend. And I saw him like 5 days before he passed. And like, it's hard because there's so much going on. And yet the funny thing is, I'm not the only one who has a lot going on. If you ask someone like, hey, does your job keep you busy? Does your family keep you busy? Everyone's going to say yes. No one's going to say, no, I'm bored out of my mind. Unless you live in like a nursing home or like you're a kid, like no one is bored out of their mind anymore. And so when you talk to people, it's time savings and automation services. Like, people don't have time to do their normal life anymore. People don't even have time to make dinner for their families anymore. So they eat out all the time. Or they get like HelloFresh or Blue Apron or like some Icon meal or whatever. People don't have time to like get their hair done, so they go bald, like me. People don't have time to raise their kids, so they send them to private school or public school. It's a generalization. I'm just going to stop there. But like, people don't have time to try to do everything they want or they think they can do or should do, so they outsource it. And so if you can be someone that is able to do the thing for people hundreds and hundreds of times so they can get it done once, like, you're going to win. There are laundry services. People don't have time to do their own laundry. For real. Like walking down to the basement, opening the door, throwing in your stinky shirts and your dirty underwear that's falling apart, thrown into the laundry machine. Like, people don't have time for that. They have like maids and butlers and stuff to come do that. Like, and it's not even like that wild of a thing that people are doing anymore. What's wild to me is how people keep it all together, and like they hold their sanity together, or you just go insane. Maybe that's the solution. But just sucked not getting the rating you wanted at work, thinking you're going to get a certain result and it doesn't come through. And then you realize, okay, my value is not in my rating. My value is not in my pay. My value is not in my job title. My value is who I am in God and what He says about me. That's what really matters. And then shortly below that, like what my wife and my kids think about me. And then below that, what my friends, my coworkers think. Are they the same? No. What my friends think of me, because I'll have my friends for 30 years. I'm not going to have my coworkers for 30 years. I might make friends from work, but no. Anyhow, shake it off. We're heading to the studio. We're doing some night training. The shift lead that got promoted is going to be on site. Manager is going to be on site. I'm going to be on site. So we're going to have classes running. I'm going to learn more about how the studio works, see some ways that the studio can improve, and keep plugging away the studio. If you have a side hustle, man, hats off to you. Like, here's my theory about side hustles personally. Like, and I've told my staff this, and I hope they remember it. If you've got a side hustle, sweet, go crush at it. Go like do really well at it. If you want the double income, phenomenal. Go for it. If that side hustle makes more than I can provide, make the decision that works best for your fam, because that's what you got to do. I can try to beg and plead for you to make the decision that works for me, but you're going to end up resenting me if it hurts your family, and then you're going to be better at me and you're going to lose your family, or something's going to snap. And so, like right now, with owning a gym, a startup, and a day job, like, it's just a lot of plates to spin, and it's just a lot to keep up with. And so, if you're able to do that in your life and you can keep it going, phenomenal. If you want your side hustles to outpace your day job, even better. Awesome. Cool, bro. Go do it. If you want, it's like, one of my staff members, he works at the studio, and on the weekends he runs like a photo booth, like for weddings and like work parties, and like they take photos at the photo booth. That's cool. Like, he just wants some extra beer money. That's awesome. I have no problem with that. That's really cool. That's a kind of work ethic person I want on the around the mats. Like, that's really sweet. So I'm trying to navigate how long this is sustainable for. A day job and a business and a startup and everything. Like, it's got to be sustainable if it's going to be permanent. And it's going to be sustainable. I'm going to pause here because I feel like I'm just shooting stuff out into the air without any purpose. But work your tail off. Have a game plan. Make sure that the thing you're working on has the capacity to be massive. And here's just an example, I'm making this up. If you're driving Uber and you're working at Target and you're stacking packages at the airport, like that's three jobs. Hard work, mad respect. Of those three, none of them have the potential on the surface to take off and to make you good money to provide for your family on their own. You can get promoted into like management or doing higher work at the same job, totally possible. But if you're working three jobs that don't have the capacity to like triple in income, and you need to triple your income from one job, pivot out one of those jobs somehow, some way. Maybe like instead of stacking packages at the airport, just throw an idea out there. Maybe take like a customer service job for like Airbnb or Nike corporate or something, where you can do the role and you can get into team leadership, people development, hiring, firing, training, sales work, something that you have a shot at like doubling or tripling your pay by growing at the spot. If you're driving Uber Eats, you'll never have a shot at doubling your pay. And it's not me hating on the job. That's just me wanting to help people not spin their wheels in the same track over and over. It's not a bad job. It's just not going to be the job that gets you out of the spot you're probably in. And someone said that to me once, and it helped me. So I'm saying it here to hopefully help you. So let's go to the studio. I'm going to get off my phone. That's where we're at. That's where we're going. Let's rock and roll. This has been another episode of the Business Buyer Diaries. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I hope you're realizing that business ownership is no cakewalk. Check the podcast notes for a link to the DIY due diligence program, the complete list of show sponsors, and for media inquiries. Music written and composed by Wes Schrock. I'm your host, Nathan Platter. Join me again on the next one.